Got it.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. We should be good.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm just really starting looking at AP. I really. People wonder why I don't fucking leave the house if I don't have to. Okay. I'm finding the page, the live. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Looking for it. Here we are. And are we live yet? And
Yeah, we should be live right now.
okay. Oh, there we go. I see us.
Ian has cloned himself for this episode.
Hilarious. Okay, got it. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me know when you're ready, Ian. Hey.
Still waiting on Ian audio.
Okay. Let's try this again. Add everyone.
There we go.
All right. There we go. Oh.
All right.
What, Ian? Just turn down the volume on your laptop.
I did.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. I'm going to share screen, share sound. Yep. Yep. And yep. Hi, Barnett.
Ian Harris.
The revolution is not afraid of pronouns.
The revolution is not afraid of real history.
The revolution is not brought to you by election deniers.
Hey man, some people are simply trash.
The revolution will not be brought to you by gerrymandered districts.
90% of our country doesn't have critical thinking skills. 50% of our country doesn't have empathy.
Ian Harris is good as fuck with numbers.
I refuse to stand for any flag or anthem that does not stand for me.
The revolution will not be brought to you by the letter Q or any other dumbass conspiracies.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new, and we're getting closer to, I don't know what the fuck, Armageddon episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. Ty Barnett.
Ian Harris, and back on my phone because my stupid computer doesn't work again. So hopefully I'll be back with you in a second with my actual computer. Anyway. So we're back.
You there? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Welcome, you guys. Welcome to everybody that's already in the room. Curtis, Edmund, J.E. as usual. What's happening, everybody? What up, Sam? How you feeling? Sam was on last week. Shout out to Sam. And listen, you guys, we're gonna we got a few things to talk about. You already know. And we are joined by a very special guest. Ian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes. Can
Go
you
ahead.
hear me? Jack Madrigal Trio, why don't you give us a little bit about who you are? And we've been on the show before, but it's been a while. And introduce yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been doing media of one kind or another for about 15 years. I've had a slew of different podcasts. The show I'm doing now is called Ongoing Necessary Pursuit. I did 2 seasons of that for the Satanic Temple TV. I'm just moving that over to YouTube now. I got a bunch of books out. I got a book following around the Satanic Temple for about 5 years. I just put out a short works collection that's like short stories and stuff. I got a coloring book. I do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice. The coloring book is weird. I feel really bad that as an adult, I got super excited about the coloring book.
It is one of those grown-up it's one of those complicated ones for grown-ups who just need to turn everything off for a while though.
Yes, we need those, man. I need some escapism, bro. Congratulations.
That's why I made it. I was just like, I need to like turn off for a while. So I'm just gonna make one of these and spend like an hour a day just coloring in lines.
I love
it. Helps.
There you go. It just well, again, welcome to the show and congrats on everything that you're doing, especially moving things. I know you say you're moving stuff over to the YouTube page, so I know that's not always the easiest transition nowadays with YouTube because there's so much content. So props to you for even being in that space. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
And by the way, you can share it whenever you want. Somebody else will probably do it as well. But share. Oh, look, Curtis already shared the Only Sky your page on there. But
My page on
yeah,
Only
share,
Sky too. Yeah.
yeah, share your. Should we share your stuff in the comments? We got a lot of people visit the comments for weeks after even the live stuff. So yeah. So I mean, hey, I'm going to be honest, guys. And I know Je was messaging me earlier about some stuff. Man, it's been the last week has been crazy, so I haven't had any time to prepare much. We don't prepare. You guys know how we do. We just kind of go into the news anyway. But I didn't get a chance to even watch the news, see much of the stories. I've been listening a little bit, the primaries, and that whole fucking mess. But and saw a couple things I wanted to bring up about some polls and stuff that I saw that looked pretty promising. But I got to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna have to wing this today, and we can talk about whatever people want to talk about. Guys got some stuff.
Well, let's do this. Well, we can go right into what everybody's talking about the most right at this moment. Of course, New Hampshire, but the moment that stood out the most, and I'm gonna play this because I literally just posted this video on TikTok. I just like when I say minutes before we went live, I posted this. So Tim Scott. Who continues
Uncle Tim.
who continues to just, I mean, god damn, I don't understand. This dude, to say this dude has no balls is putting it lightly. Like first of all, let me just show you the video and then we'll talk about it on the side because I just don't I don't know. Damn, I don't even know what the fuck to say about this motherfucker anymore. I just don't. Here we go. This is what I just posted. So
he came out of his cabin long enough, Uncle Tim.
Exactly.
I just love you. No.
What's up? I will keep this quick because anytime I got to think about or talk about Tim Scott, I want to throw shit, and I ain't got that kind of time today. Tim Scott, brother. I'm sorry. Tim Scott, brother. Anyway, what did you think was going to happen? What do you hope to gain from all of this ass kissing you're doing? Because no matter how much ass you kiss, they still won't see you as equal. No matter how much tap dancing you do, they still won't see you as worthy to them. No matter how much glad handing or attaboys you get, they still only see you as a useful, dark puppet. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
I just love you.
I loves you. Hey man, you did everything except wipe his ass. And and if you don't believe me when I said that they won't see you as anything, because no matter how many fake white girlfriends you get, no matter how much facial hair you don't grow, they still will not see you as the same as that guy. This is America. Do you understand? The same country where when you were campaigning, you didn't poll higher than 3% in a country full of Christians and evangelicals who would rather support a dude with 91 felony counts, has cheated on every single wife, and stole from kids with cancer. That didn't tell you anything? And it's one thing for you to disrespect yourself. Because at this point, I expect it from you. It's another thing to disrespect your ancestors. You know, the ones where you say, it's a pole boy from that. You're disrespecting them because they would have no parts of you.
I just love you. No.
You are in so much of a sunken place, bro, that you have to take an escalator down 10 floors, wait for an elevator to go down 20 more floors, then get on one of them little mining carts, go down further, and then wait for a submarine to take you even further. You, by far, are one of the worst examples of what a black person should be. You are.
I just love you. No.
How you look at yourself in the mirror, I have no clue. And no matter how much they pat you on the head, it won't make up for all the dignity you keep losing.
I just love you.
Now go shine his shoes before you get in trouble.
So
really quick, here's how you get Tim Scott into the sunken place. You pull up a Bud Light can. He goes, trans people.
Oh my god, dude! And listen, man.
Is that a Bud Light can? No.
I wasn't even gonna say anything about this guy because a lot of people have been, getting on him. But to get into what we're gonna talk about with New Hampshire and the primaries and stuff like this. And Ian will elaborate on this more because Ian understands the numbers and how this looks, more than I do. But what happens is with people like him, and I really want to get your opinion on this. And the reason why, when I was watching this again, Jack, I thought about, you know, your mindset and where you come from with this, because I always keep hammering home the point of Christians have hijacked politics. They've hijacked all of this, and they said you're only a good person, you're only a good Christian if you support that evil motherfucker. And I often tell Ian this, you know, from when we first started the podcast to now, nothing has made me question religion more than those types of people. So I would like to get your opinion on where, first of all, what's your mind?
Well, I mean, they telegraphed all of this. They're running the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 playbook.
Right.
I mean, this is exactly what they said they were going to do.
Right.
The fact that they've got Trump as the figurehead for it is actually probably the worst thing for them, because he's a terrible, like, standard bearer for what they say they want the country to look like, right?
It's very weird.
So what do you why do you think it is that more people, like, I understand why atheists see through I understand why atheists, because they you know, they've questioned this before Trump. Why do you think it is that, even though, like I just said, everything I laid out in that video, the cheating on every wife, the 91 felony counts, the stealing from kids with cancer, I didn't even get into the grabbing them by the pussy, I didn't even get into the he can be officially called a sex offender now. Why do you think they still fall for it, even though in their face they can see that this dude does not live by anything?
I think it's straight up tribalism, and they just, you know, they have blind spots on those things because they don't want to think it. They don't want to think about it. They want to think about, oh, if we get this guy in office, we're going to get all the laws passed that we want to get passed. We're going to turn into Gilead, and that's what they're hoping for. And, you know, if he promises he's going to deliver it, they're going to go with it. Period. And they don't care how much.
He delivered the Supreme Court, and now he's bragging about it, which I think is going to be the downfall, because it's not popular. But he delivered Roe v. Wade, and I think it's the funny thing is the reason why it's like we talked about last week. The reason they don't want to deliver, aside from getting Joe Biden to win, the reason they don't want to do anything on the border is because if without the border and without abortion, they have nothing, no wedge issues. First off, it's
they've stopped being the party of fiscal responsibility a long time ago.
Yeah,
right.
Now all they can do is now they're just now they're the party of pearl clutching.
Well, they're the party of how do we funnel money from government, because they know that they're not going to do anything. They might cut taxes, but they know that they're not going to stop the spending. So now they're doing this thing where they just figure out how to funnel money to these you know, private church-run organizations with you know, school voucher programs and you know, NGO grants and whatnot.
We're up here in freaking New Hampshire, which is practically Canada, and the 67% of the people saying their number one thing about voting, their number one reason for voting out there was the border crisis.
Well, yeah, I want to, as you mentioned that, Ian, I'm going to pull up that graphic because I want our viewers to see this. By the way, again, thank you to everybody that's rocking with us so far. If you guys have any questions for our very special guest, Jack, please address him. He's right there. He will address them right back to you. You can speak to him directly. So let me pull up this graphic for the people that may not know that what Ian just said is absolutely true. This is to go back to what we just showed about New Hampshire. So here is right here. This is what and by the way, yes, you guys, this is in New Hampshire, which is 2,000 miles from the southern border. I'm going to say that one more time. New Hampshire, which is 2,000 miles from the southern border. Look at this list of things they're concerned about 2,000 miles away. By the way, real quick side note, they're not concerned about the northern border, Canada, which was already shown that terrorists have come in through that border. You want to know what their response was, by the way?
They're also not concerned about the port that's about a couple hundred miles to the east of them, where all the fentanyl is coming in from.
Exactly. But do you want to know their reason for one of the reasons why they say they're not concerned about the northern border? And I'm not even making this up. I couldn't even write this in a comedy routine.
White people?
Huh?
White people?
Well, close. White snow. They said they're not worried about the northern border because it snows up there and criminals. I can't even say it without laughing, bro. So anyway, look at this graph, and I want you guys to understand something. This is why every fucking week now, my anger gets more and more. I don't even know if we were to do a graph like a stop motion thing of my beard, how gray it gets from episode to episode. I am pretty sure you could see they care less about their jobs, their economy. And this is the cost of living. They care less about how they eat, how their families eat, how their kids eat, how their friends eat, how they live. They care less about democracy and the fucking Constitution than they do about a fake border crisis that's 2,000 miles away.
But and I was watching some of the interviews, and they were asking about that, and people were saying, well, the southern border, it's a big deal. And one person said that was the cause. What did they say? Something ridiculous. That was the reason that their wages are down. And that was the reason that the cost of things was up, which, by the way, we've already determined the cost of things isn't higher than normal regular. Look, cost of things is up since the 50s. You know what? In 1987, my gas was only 97. Yeah, things go up over time. We had inflation. It's going way down. These liars who keep saying eggs are $10. That's something that always cracks me up. Well, eggs are $10 or milk is. Yesterday I had to trade my child to get a glass of milk from the store because it's so expensive. Yet, when I go to the store here in Los Angeles, which doesn't have any dairy farms, we have none, but we don't have many, not anywhere real close to LA. We got to truck them in. We're not in the fucking heartland where you're driving past cattle all day long and farms. Why is it that my eggs, in a place where if I go to a bar in Los Angeles and want to get a drink, yeah, it's $20. If I want to go and get a burrito here, it's $18. Shit's expensive in LA. But my eggs were only $2.99. I bought them yesterday. I bought eggs $2.99. Milk was like $3.39 a gallon or something like that I paid for yesterday. I literally went to the store yesterday. So where are these $10 eggs and
they're the Whole Foods free range organic eggs, right?
Right, yeah. Which when you look at these people with their MAGA hats and their Trump socks and their 400 extra pounds, yeah, that's where they're eating. Those people are, to them, health food is Waffle House. So I don't think they're worried about. I don't think they're getting.
Hey, they make good.
Yeah, but the media pundits who are selling them this pile of garbage, they're the ones who are having their personal shoppers go to Whole Foods for them, paying the Grubhub delivery fee or whatever.
Well, but the funny thing though is that you think that they would be against cage-free eggs because they're brown,
hilarious
usually, and also the cage is what keeps them in line and keeps them from stealing the other chickens' jobs.
I want to make sure we highlight the things that Jack has coming up. So we will do that in the second portion of the show. But I also wanted to, because again, man, what is your take on why we are where we are? Even more, because the thing I keep saying to people is, it'll be worse once he gets in. Now, and I'm saying I didn't. Somebody's gonna owe me $50, by the way. He's gonna get back in, and
no. I don't. Okay, so you want to talk about New Hampshire? If you look at numbers, and if you look at these New Hampshire numbers, I mean, he won, but he didn't do great against Nikki Haley. And Biden won, even though his name wasn't even on. He won on a write-in.
I know they had the write-in
because the Democrats weren't even doing theirs. They're starting with South Carolina. Yeah. So, I mean, Biden's numbers were strong. I think South Carolina is going to be the one where we really start to see things move.
Right.
Well, the reason why I say this is because, like I said, if there was ever a situation where it was clearer that a dude should not be allowed anywhere near power, it's more so now than in 2016 and 2020. Like, more, we have evidence now. Like we have a track record now. Like we see
You're January 6th now.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So he shouldn't even be this close. It shouldn't even be this. So this is why I say he's going to get back in. So I wanted to ask you, Jack.
No.
Again, for me, I look at this as more of a reflection on society, because I came into this. There was a time where I used to pray every night. I'm just gonna give you guys some just really quick background. Wasn't a big church goer, and it was never really was big. We only went to church because Auntie would take us to church, and we only went for the cake. But that we still were like, don't curse in front of a church. Don't say goddamn. Don't do this. So we still had these belief systems, and we would still, pray and all that. So I grew up thinking that, oh wow, these people are more rational. These people at least are trying to be better. The older I got and the more I started seeing stuff, then I started seeing things differently. One, how did you what was your mindset early on, and what is it now? When was your shift, and how do you apply it to how you do things now with your content and all of this stuff? How do you apply it now to get people to see where things are?
Well, the stuff I've been doing for a long time, has always been kind of atheist, skeptic, humanist focused content as far as who I am.
Even younger, as a young man.
Yeah, no, my first show, Left Hemispheres, that we started in 2010. That was an atheist, skeptic, humanist show.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Our first episode, it was the whole Atheist Plus scandal. If anybody remembers that far back.
I do.
Yeah, you do. So, and then, after a while, when I got involved with doing the Satanic Temple stuff, that became a much harder shift to, okay, we're just going to take this head on and say, okay, if you say that that's what the bad guy is and it's all stuff I'm okay with, we're just going to put that label on it and make it look good, Right. And I think they've done a really great job with that. The issue I had doing the show, I didn't have any problems doing the show on TSD TV. Moving it over to YouTube was more, I feel like I've been, talking to an audience that already understands a lot of what I'm talking about and doesn't really need me to just talk to them directly. So putting it on something like YouTube, it's trying to get to a wider audience,
Right.
Now, so I go back. What was the question you were posing, Ty? Exactly.
I was asking, like, when was the shift? Because the shift for me to looking at human beings more actually came and then during the last 6-7 years, because I was of the belief that people were better. I was of the belief system that facts would matter and people would start looking at reason. Because again, in Jack, Ian will tell you this, I've always been a person, like, I still believe in faith. Like I still believe in the idea of having a belief system that there is something that is better than just what we see, even if it's just a feeling. But I don't subscribe to it's this guy or this thing or this. I just say, hey man, I just gotta hope shit works out, because if it don't, goddamn, I don't know. I'm too scared to blow my brains out, and I'm too pretty to do meth. So I'm like, I gotta find a balance in there. So I'm like, look, let me. So my shift changed in the last 5-6 years. So my question to you was, since this was already young in your mind to be skeptical about these things, like, did you find it hard to convince people around you, or did you just kind of fall into a group of people and it just kind of morphed into what it is now?
I think that it's been disheartening. Okay, so I think while I was at Pathos, while I was doing stuff there, what really started to make me feel disheartened was we had Google Analytics set up on the back end so I could, look at our numbers and whatever. And I'd be getting clicks and people would be clicking on the articles, but then there's a time on page metric and you'd watch that number just go down, right? So like I'd have a piece, you have a piece on there, it's 2,000 words, and it says that, people stuck around on the page for a minute. Well, all right, so nobody read the whole damn thing. And that was the part that really started to get to me. Was there was this the shrinking of the American attention span, as evidenced by stuff like TikTok and Shorts, and that's the thing that's really driving me nuts, because people aren't paying enough attention to, get all the information in their head to think about it in the first place. They're taking these little sound bites things and they're kind of mashing them together, and whatever they come up with, it's not really informed just because you're sitting and scrolling through 30-second clips all day.
How do you power through that? Because Ian and I, we talk about it a lot, especially with the short film, What Matters. For the people that haven't seen it, go see it, share it with people. But we talk about that because the content in it is very relevant. It's a very smart short film. It's a very it's relevant. And we have the frustration of trying to get it out to people and having people look at it and look at the content and also connect it to what else is going on in the world. Now, we made a few headways here and there, but like, it's nothing like, if we were to show titties on a video, we'd have a fucking ton of fucking views because people love titties, So when you say it's disheartening, how do you power through that to continue to do things like create the content and have people and still be passionate about what you're putting out there? Because we love what we do. Like, this podcast has been around for a while and we love the people that watch it, but like, we are getting direct interaction with these people, with our fans, our friends, our family. We're getting direct interaction with them. How do you, like you said, as you're watching those numbers go down, the metrics go down, how do you say, all right, fuck it, I don't give a fuck, we just got to
I switched from writing to doing video, because apparently that's an easier, people pay attention longer. I mean, I've still got books, you can go buy them, but
I think you're right. I think your writing needs more cats falling off fireplaces.
That's right.
If you can put that into just in the middle of an article, a cat falls off something, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's so click."
Yeah, like it does feel like there's that detached audio video content from the words,
Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is that what we're all. The other thing is we also are being tricked, and I think this is. Yeah, I'm not trying to poo-poo what you're saying, Ty, about I get the fear, and I don't believe in putting things out to the universe. I think that's goofy. But let's stop saying that Trump is going to win. He ain't going to win. He hasn't won shit. Now I think we should fight like hell, like he is going to, so we don't get lazy. But to me, it's easy when you see people like I have a lot of these friends to the MMA world. So I see it all. I see Trump shit all the time. And you think, oh my God, more Trump people. Oh my God, how did more people get on? And you see the videos and these crazy Trump people at the rallies. But when we look at the rallies, they're less and less and less. There was one the other day they showed, they pulled back. There was like 800 people there in a place that held like thousands. New Hampshire. I mean, Iowa, there was the Iowa caucus. I think there was only like a few 100,000 people total that voted, or a few. It was like really small.
Turnout was low compared to average.
I mean, of course, they had the crazy weather too, but even in New Hampshire, so he won 52% versus 53%, I believe, 43%, something like that, or it was 54 to 43, something like that. But when you look at the numbers, it wasn't that many. But the thing is, I was listening yesterday on the news, the whole thing that they were going through all the numbers, which is Steve Kornacki and all those people. They were going through the numbers about the independents, and they were saying if you look at the counties. And you look at the main states that we're worried about, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, right? The suburbs where Trump lost it in 2020 are still exactly where they were in 2020. He did not, and on this primary, even in the Republican Party, he didn't win the suburbs. Independents, it's like 48. It was some ridiculous number. What was the number? It's like, I don't have the number off the top of my head. Say I'm bad as fuck with numbers. But anyway, the numbers were really crazy where the independents voted for Nikki Haley. And when they asked them about will they vote for Trump when he wins, and a huge chunk of those independents said no, we won't. We'll either not vote or we'll vote for Biden. And these are the independents or the and in like New Hampshire specifically, that's what it is. It's 47% of voters in New Hampshire are registered independents. So when you're looking at these independents that went and voted in the primary, most of them were voting for Nikki Haley because they wanted something other than Trump. But when asked, they're not going to vote for Trump. So it's hard now. Once Trump is secured in there, we can really see the numbers. We got 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is before the actual the actual election. Things are going to change. The economy is getting better and better and better. People's 401ks are through the fucking roof right now. Like when you ask that, like, what's your 401k? When they interview these people at these Trump rallies, they're like, what about your 401k? They're like, well, mine was better when Trump was in. They don't have a 401k. They don't even know what a 401k is. They think it's an additive for their gas tank or something. So these people there's no 401. If they did have one, they would know that it's fucking off the chain compared to what it was when Trump was in, especially after COVID. So the numbers are going to get better. Gas prices are going down. It's down another 30 cents here in LA. And that's going to keep going down. Inflation is going down. Wages are up. Consumer spending is up. Consumer confidence is up. Unemployment is still way down. And the stock market it continues to hit records. So November, really quick, by the time November comes around, and Trump is making gaffes every day. I mean, he can't do he did with the Obama thing where he kept saying Obama this, Obama that, Obama this, we beat Obama, and people are like, all his people are like, oh, he's just joking because he thinks Obama is really the puppet master. So does he think Nikki Haley is the puppet master for Nancy Pelosi? Because he called Nancy Pelosi Nikki Haley like 37 times. He's lost his fucking mind if he ever had one. That's going to get worse. So I think by the time November comes around, I'm really with Roe v. Wade, if we can do what I keep telling you guys in these states, Michigan, put an abortion measure on the ballot, put a weed measure on the ballot to get young people and independents and people who don't want this crazy right-wing shit who will come out like they did in Kansas and Kentucky. Get them on the border. If we do that, Biden wins again, like he did last time.
Let me I'm gonna read some comments here, but I just wanted noted the reason why I'm saying certain things is because I did tell you that he was going to run again, and you said he wasn't going to run again. And not only is he running again, he's going to get the nomination again, and has even more.
For the record, that's not exactly what I didn't say he wasn't going to run again. I said I would be surprised if he ran again, but then I did change that when he got indicted, because I said the reason he's going to run when he got indicted, that's when I said he will run now. And the reason is because he thinks it stops him. He can use that as a to go, oh, look, they're trying to stop me from winning. And he was trying to use that like Navarro did as, oh, I've got executive privilege to shield himself from, he's an idiot. He was hoping it would shield him from the, and also it's a big money. Now that he's running, he can get money to pay for his legal fees and his legal bills.
No, I totally get it.
If he wasn't indicted, I think he might have just gone away. But he also made $7.8 billion.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that the issue for me more so is, and we'll get to you guys' comments here in a second. My issue is more so there is more evidence against this dude not being fit now than it was then. He shouldn't even be polling at double digits. He shouldn't even be at 10%. Period. But
we got a lot of racists in this country.
Yes, and that to me is like we just showed you we just showed everyone what people are concerned about 2,000 miles away. They say I'd rather eat shit. I'd rather eat sugar sandwiches than to let them brown folks come in down here. I would rather lose my fucking job than let those brown people come in over here. I would rather get rid of the fucking Constitution than let them brown people come in. That to me is more of an issue with people. That's why I keep saying, hey, I think this is going to be, I don't know. Anyway, I would try not to be a doomsdayist, but anyway, I'm reserving doomsdayish back here. A couple comments. Corey says, let the racists get fired for mutiny and treason. Love it. Curtis says, if Trump wins, consider that you can basically just walk across the board to Canada from New Hampshire. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Hold on. Tam says 10 months to the election. Very true. I get it. Sam says don't sleep on the fact hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters in the Midwest died of COVID. We can only hope. JE says Pennsylvania. So, and Tammy says corruption. All of this is true. Great comments, by the way. Keep them coming. If you have any questions or comments for Jack, please address them now, because we're gonna have a hard out today.
And can I point out that Peter Navarro got sentenced to 4 months, 4 months in prison. The maximum, the minimum sentence was 1 month. They were seeking 6 months, which is, the prosecution wanted 6 months, which is really high. And he got 4, which is pretty fucking good for ignoring a congressional subpoena. So, and the judge said, let me get the quote from the judge. The judge said, he said, let's see. First off, he told Navarro his words. He goes that his words, executive privilege, are not a magical incantation or get out of jail free card to get out of a subpoena. And he said, what I find disappointing is that in all this, even today, there's little acknowledgement of what your obligation is as an American to cooperate with Congress and provide them with the information that they're needing. Fine, you think it's a political hatchet job? It's domestic terrorists running the committee? They had a job to do, and you made it harder. It's really that simple. Yeah, and let's
see that
shut
shit.
The fuck up. It's a hatchet job. Motherfucker, you guys went to your fucking crazy ass redneck douchebags, killed cops, tried to kill the vice president, tried to kill the Speaker of the House, smeared shit all over the wall. You tried to bust through the fucking walls with fucking battering rams, and you're bear spraying people and fucking sticking people with flagpoles. And they had an investigation to find out what was behind it, and that's a hatchet job. I would love maybe I should go to prison just so that I can get in there and beat this guy's fucking teeth out. Fuck these guys. I'm so tired of these fucking clowns. Oh, it's a political thing. Fuck off. Could you imagine in any other fucking situation where this was happening, where we're killing cops and we're bear spraying motherfuckers and we're trying to kill, the fucking vice president and literally overthrow an election and put up fake electors. And I mean, and then you're going to say, well, because and then I knew something about it and I ignore a legal subpoena by Congress, and then to still walk away going, well, it's a hatchet job and they're domestic terrorists. Really? Domestic terrorists. The Congress is domestic terrorists because they were trying to find out what happened with
the actual domestic terrorists.
The actual domestic. Yeah, so shitting on the Congress, bear spraying, killing a cop, raping people with a flagpole. That's not
well. But then these whatever's left over from I don't know if they're still QAnon nuts or whether they've changed names or whatever. But whenever you point that out, they say, "Oh well, those people were all FBI plants."
Mm-hmm, yes, but see that this is why I come back to the.
Don't we want them in prison?
Exactly right. But this is why I come back to the thing of saying, Jack, that my faith in people was destroyed through people. Faith is whatever, religion is whatever it is. I started looking at people more and saying, oh shit, you're just a shitty person. You're just a goofy person. You're just dumb. And so for me, I think, and this is what our viewers notice about me, my frustration and passion comes from me actually thinking people were better and not necessarily looking at the psychology of why people do things. And now I see it a lot more than I did before. So for someone like you, when you are putting out content, you say, okay, I got to switch to video because people's attention spans are shorter. When you put stuff out, are you purposely saying, okay, now I got to pay attention to buzzwords. I got to pay attention to whatever is going to keep them, these eyes here, these ears here. Is it, so you go into it consciously more so now, right?
I think I try to. I try and go out and see guests that are going to talk about stuff that's relevant in the moment that everyone's attention is on. Like a few weeks ago, I talked to a rabbi and we never got around to talking about Israel Palestine, but we sorted out a lot of stuff between Judaism and Satanism, so that was cool.
Right.
And yeah, I'm trying to. A couple of weeks, I got a friend of mine he does In Range TV. He's a gun guy, and we talk about making more inclusive gun safety training a thing.
Oh wow. Yeah, to see now, and which is that's smart. That's smart because again, like I said, like today, like I told you, I have a project that I have to get finished. But I said, okay, everyone's talking about Tim Scott, so I got to put something out about Tim Scott. So I had to be more aware of content, and then when I put stuff out, I'm always like, what buzzword will be this? What buzzword will be that?
I tell you, I try to, but the way you have to crank out content on social media now just to keep up, it doesn't always work. Like what I'm doing now, I'm taking my episodes, I'm cutting them all down into short things, and then I'm posting them everywhere. But I have them all scheduled a week or two out, and hopefully they land in the right place. Or if I have one that I know, I can jump in and put it up that day. But you can't spend your whole life just watching the social media feeds for, I got one for that, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I can't, that's what's hard for me because like I know there's a business to it, and Ian and I talked about this a lot of times, even when we're trying to figure out how to get this over to YouTube and do stuff and grow the brand. And we get that, but we also separately have our own lives and stuff that we do. So we're like, man, okay, how do we figure out how to make this thing be the thing? And luckily, our viewers have grown over the years, and our content, our content has been, steady. But it took a while. Like I told you, when we first started, like shit, we had like
yeah, it's rough. It's rough when you're not, working with some right-wing think tank, and they're all. The thing that really bothered me this year was it Crowder? When Crowder turned down that deal for $50 million, and you're just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Give me $100,000 and I'm good. I'll go from there.
The thing that's scary to me or weird to me is Crowder is an intellectual moron. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. He's not a good comedian or whatever. I think he was. He's such not a comedian.
He was not a good comedian.
How is that motherfucker with $50 million? Like he doesn't present logical arguments. He's not interesting.
He's not, because the way it's all. A lot of it is super PACs and dark money funding and how that all works, right? You've got all this money that piles in to nonprofit advocacy groups, and then that money gets put into a think tank or some other project as a media outreach project, and they just dump money, right?
Yeah, well,
the Daily Wire wouldn't be a thing if they didn't get a $3 million in startup money.
That's true.
It wouldn't have been a thing.
Real quick, JE, I guess I'm assuming this is a question for you, Jack. He says, Black flag or bad religion?
Oh, Black Flag, hands down.
There you go.
Really?
I'm a big Rollins fan. What can I say?
Nice. Corey says racism.
So you're post Dez. All right, that's fine.
Corey says racism pays, apparently, which is true. I mean, we keep seeing examples of it for sure. Oh, man.
Hey, Ty, I should start wearing a hood.
Yes. Or given a certain salute. That's how we start.
We can start calling it clanical and thinking.
Hey, dude, and they'll be like, somebody will be in the DMs. They'll be like, "Hey, Ian, we love what you're doing, and we love you. Look, when are you gonna get rid of the Negro?" It's like, can you drop?
I should from now on just wear a KKK outfit and just talk like this the whole time. Go, Ty. Let me tell you something, mate. What you fail to realize here, Ty, is that as a white man, I know better. My intellectuals is higher than your intellectuals, and so everything you say, if I say it, is automatically correct. Now, what I'm going to say now, that should be the whole show. And then you can just,
By the way,
put out arguments and I can just be like, that's wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because
Corey says we should change the show to critical race thinking and critical race thinking with Ian and Ty.
critical race thinking. I like that.
Tammy says, David Wallace Crowder, known professionally by his I'm fucking up this word. Say this word? Stage.
Where is it? I'm missing.
Monosyllabic.
Yeah.
Monosyllabic. Syllabic. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I can read.
See that.
I can read. I promise you I can. I just fucked up that word. Stage name Crowder since 2012 is an American contemporary Christian music singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and author. And you know what? But see now that brings me to this other thing. I recently saw a video. Someone went and saw your boy Rob Schneider in Tahoe. He went to go see him in Tahoe. And she said she was very surprised because, first of all, she's never walked out on a comedy show, but she had to walk out on this comedy show for a couple reasons. One, because
everybody had COVID and was dying.
Because it was Rob Schneider. But here's what I found interesting. I wish I could have found the clip because it was.
By the way, Uncle Ty's Cabin. How about we change its name to that?
Listen. Let me tell you something.
Uncle Ty's Cabin. I'll put on the KKK outfit, and you can do the.
I can tell you right now, bro. My ancestors, the ghost, I would be visited by the ghost of the ghost. And they'd be like, bro, we gotta kill you.
We should do one episode though, where you're basically Samuel L. Jackson in
Django?
In Django, and I'll put on the KKK outfit and we'll have a political discussion.
Oh, bro, and do you know how many people, if we did it convincingly, they'd be like, you gotta check out this show. This is
You know what?
This is the best fucking show.
Better, you can get the tray and the tuxedo, and you can talk like
Robert Townsend in Hollywood. Well,
yeah.
You know what's funny? Dude, it's funny you say that. I
don't know why we leave a massa house.
So it's so funny you say that because the first thing I thought about when I saw that Tim Scott clip was, well, he beats his own son there. Or is it Monday? Or is it two? I don't know anymore. Hey, look.
Jasper, we going to the promised land. Minnesota.
So listen, you guys. So Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Yeah, sorry.
This goes back to what we were talking about just a second ago about why people change their brands and co-opting certain things because they know it makes more money. You know what I'm saying, Jack? So she went to the Rob Schneider show. Rob Schneider's telling jokes about how he was canceled, which they always blame us. Now I was canceled. This is why I got to be racist now, which is bullshit. But then she said what scared her, and this is her exact words. She says, "I've never been at somewhere where I was feared for my safety," because he was telling jokes about how Black people are less than, saying that DEI was making less qualified people, which is crazy. She said, but the thing that tripped out the most is not only was this dude saying this, but she said people in the audience was like, yeah, goddamn right. That's right. That's right. I'm not going to a Black doctor and all of this stuff. So the thing I want to know is what do you think? How much do you think is a money grab for people like that, the Crowders and these types of people? And how much of it do you think it is that this is just who they are and they just needed it as an end to say, well, this is just the audience that watches what I do now?
Yeah, I think most of it's a money grab, like with Schneider. I mean, like if you look at the movies that Schneider put out, like like Bruce Bigelow wasn't like an amazing film.
It was from his shitty content 20, 30 years ago. Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you've seen this in comedy enough where, like, comics who do like the Midwest tour circuit, they play to those white corn-fed audiences, and they're kind of like, and it works on their brains, and they say, well, this is what the people want, so I'm going to give them what they want, so I can sell tickets and make a living, and then they get wrapped into it, I think.
Well, yeah, it's like I was canceled because of my right-wing beliefs. No, you were canceled because you did The Animal. All right.
Exactly.
You were canceled because of Deuce Bigelow. Okay.
Oh my
That's why
God.
you were canceled because nobody went to see your shitty fucking movies. But here's the thing. The thing that there is a third option that we've been seeing a lot of. And it's more baffling to me because I don't know that that's just who people are. Because Corey says 100% who they are. I think it's who they are now. But we have seen this. We have seen people who were, I know personally, dozens of people who were self-proclaimed leftists, Bernie bros. I mean, I've a friend who, like, you could say anything. I mean, I could say, hey man, I bought a new shirt, and he'd be like, fuck you, Medicare for all, motherfucker. That's all we need to work, Medicare for all. And now that guy's like, Zeke Howe, Trump is king. And I'm like, what the fuck happened there? How did you go from Bernie is Lord and the only thing in the world that matters is Medicare for all to Medicare for none and Trump is king and I'm white? And there's something that happened during COVID. A few things happened. First off, fear is a bitch. People were scared as fuck during COVID. And then you have people sitting at home because they can't leave their house on the internet with algorithms feeding them nonsense. They click on one thing because they're trying to find out, what is this COVID thing? Is it going to kill me? Blah, 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 blah. So it's feeding them stuff. And they click on this one. Oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, you can shake crystals at it and COVID will go away. Oh, that sounds interesting. And then the algorithm says, oh, this person's a fucking idiot. Let's feed them more idiotic stuff. And they click on that. And that's how they get down the QAnon holes. That's why we have this crossover with the anti-government leftists and the anti-government crazy Trump people that now have converged in this weird QAnon conspiracy, flat earth, vaccines are killing you, all this crazy shit that has converted these like liberal yoga moms and like, you know, people who grow their own fucking
Yeah, and I
food
think
up in
that
my
that
own-
was part of it too. Like the liberal yoga mom anti-vaxxer kind of met up with the right-wing anti-vaxxer and joined forces in this weird, evil way. And
because
I think a lot of it has to do with the way social media, you know, people they get rewarded for putting out hot takes that are controversial, right? So people start saying stuff that in their normal day-to-day life they'd never think, but they're like, well, if I say this, it's going to get me a lot of hits, and so they say it.
But see, I believe there's elements to what both of you say. But again, at the core, I think of this comes down to who you are as a person. I get the money grab angle. I get I need the clicks angle. I get I was scared about COVID angle. I get all of that because I was scared about COVID. I was, and I would love to grow this brand. I would love to grow our podcast. I would love that. Even though there's a part of me that's thinking, man, maybe if we do that fucking racist shit, maybe people will tune in. But so I get that part. But the other part of it is being able to look yourself in the mirror, being able to look and say, hey, you know what? I am not contributing to the detriment of society. I get the whole money thing. I totally understand that. But to me, when I see people say, like I'll give you a prime example. I saw a dude yesterday, posted a video of Joe Biden, it was Joe Biden speaking in Virginia, I believe it was. And the guy says, oh, look at this. This guy doesn't even have a real crowd here. He's in front of a fucking green screen. This is bullshit. I can't believe this. He used the word pathetic. He says, Joe Biden is pathetic for having to use a green screen and pretend he's in Virginia. I took seconds to Google Joe Biden, Virginia. You can actually see Joe Biden standing in Virginia, and you can see the same people behind him in the rally as what the dude posted. So all I said was, hey, man, this is a lie. Here's the link. Look at the link. It'll show you Joe Biden in Virginia. You posting this lie seems weird to me. Now, that dude had a choice. He could have said, okay, you got me. Or he could have said, oh, man, I'm sorry. Somebody sent me that information. I must have been misinformed. He didn't. He doubled down on it. He's like, nope, you're wrong. And I'm like, I sent you the
believe
link.
the mainstream media?
You see that? I sent him the link. But then he comes back and says, well, my point is Joe Biden is not getting the same numbers. And I said, no. You're deflecting from the fact that you posted a lie on purpose. Now, I said, just tell me why you did it. Just tell me why. Tell me what did you hope to gain from doing the very thing that you say the media does? And this is what I mean. This is what frustrates me about people, because I'm like, I get it. You're trying to get, you know, because we to talk comedians for a second again. Bert Kreischer. I get why Bert Kreischer does his shows topless. I get it. It's to get people to watch. I get it. But now Bert Kreischer went out there with no shirt on saying, "Hail Hitler." Hey man, that's Bert Kreischer. that's
no, but hold up, Ty. Hold up. What I'm trying to say is this. What I think that we're looking at this way too black and white. I don't think it's a money grab. I don't think it's who they are. I think it's those two things are elements. The who they are part of it is that the majority of people, and yes, I'm going to say the majority, okay? The majority of people in the world, especially in America, don't have critical thinking skills. They don't understand where good information comes from. They're not very well educated. And a lot of people's brains are wired. There's two types of real brains of wiring. There are people who are really controlled and manipulated by fear. And there are people who are more manipulated by empathy. This is a fact. They've actually done studies on political stuff. They'll show the same pictures and they'll find out which parts of the brain work. And the ones that light up with on the fear spectrum generally vote conservative. The ones that light up on the empathy spectrum generally vote liberal. This is something that they've done multiple studies on. Point is that so there's brain wiring, which is who they are. But it's not that they're racist. It's not that they're greedy. It's not that they're any of that stuff specifically. It's that their brain is wired a certain way to respond to certain things. Then, because they don't have critical thinking skills, because they don't know where good information comes from, etc., because they were brought up with religion, which tells you ignore facts, ignore science, faith is what matters. Faith is the belief in something without a reason or without reason. So they've been brought up their whole lives to do that. And then on top of that, their brain is wired to respond to fear. So you take these people and what happens is, like Tammy was saying, I was on the right, then I was on the far left, now she's in the center. Because you're thinking, Tammy, you probably have a brain that sways empathetic. You were brought up one way, so you're like taught to believe this stuff, and then you went, no, that doesn't make sense. And the empathy took you all the way to the left, and then the logic brought you back a little bit more to the center because you went, wait a second, stuff doesn't make sense. So what I'm trying to get at is that people like Rob Schneider, who I believe at one point were on the left, Roseanne Barr. I've had conversations with Roseanne Barr. Like, she used to be pretty on the left, pretty cool. I thought and all of a sudden she went fucking nutty. Why? Because her brain responds to, it's a conspiracy theory religious brain. She has not trained herself, or she doesn't have the capacity for critical thinking and self-reflection and understanding the certain things. So when you have those things, when you don't have those things, you're easily swayed. And the social media is so fucking strong with the algorithms of how they put everything into what you click on this, then they give you more. You click on this, and then eventually, if that stuff is saying, that's how propaganda works. If the things you're clicking on are saying that anything other than this is evil and the government trying to control you, when you finally do see something outside of your box, it only confirms the belief that they are evil and trying to control you. That's how conspiracy theories work. So a guy like Rob, it's not that he's a racist, crazy person by nature. He's a conspiracy theory, fear-driven person by nature. So sometimes that's on the left, and that when he's in a group of people that are talking left type stuff, but then as soon as that goes QAnon and becomes anti-vax, whatever, and that gets hijacked by these right-wing people who are like, Trump's not a government politician, Trump's a fighting for your free. Then it becomes that, and then whatever those things confirm your bias, and it turns into whatever their thing is, racism, whatever their thing is.
I get that, and I want to get Jack in on this on the other side. So I want to get your opinion on what Ian just said. But I understand what you're saying, bro. But there is a difference between being a conspiracy theorist and saying the Earth is flat or climate change isn't real or whatever, to saying Black people are less than. Those are two total. That's a huge difference. One thing is a conspiracy. The other thing is you saying those people that don't look like me are less than me and aren't qualified as like, and those, and when people say the same thing with Roseanne believing that in not in vaccines or masks, that's one thing. But to say that the Jews did not die, or
But the
Jews
thing is,
deserve.
Ty, the thing is that wait, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're missing. Is that I'm not saying it's right. Obviously, I'm not saying it's right or ethical or anything. But the fact is that if it's a gradual thing where they start out with vaccines, the government's lying to you. Then it becomes the government's lying to you because of this. They want this power from you, and then it becomes the government is in cahoots with George Soros, and George Soros is a billionaire Jew. And then it becomes these Jews are controlling the media. Look at there's a Weinstein and a Gapstein, and they go through and there's a look at these Jews controlling the media. Who owns this corporation that's lying to you because it's owned by the government? The Jews. And then they go, oh no, so the Jews are controlling the media. And then they go, you know what else the Jews told you? The Jews told you that the Holocaust happened. You think the Jews who own the media lied about that? And then they go, oh my God, I've been lied to about that. And then they go, and guess who else is telling you that? The same people who are telling you that are the same people telling you that slavery was a problem. And they're letting these black people just
I totally understand how to go ahead, Jack, because I want to.
Ian, you're right about that, and the way that they get funneled down that path of ideas. And I think part of the problem is the way that social media stuff is working now, and everybody's got their own little tailored algorithm bubble, right? I think a lot of people don't want to be the person who says something that gets them pushed into the out group, right? And if all the media they're seeing and all the posts they're seeing are saying the same thing, they don't want to be the one to say, I disagree with that, because then they're going to get shunned by their friend group, right? And they don't want that, because that's where the fear response comes in. They don't want to be pushed to the outside.
And also these people, these racist people, Ty, when you talk to these guys, when you look at when you talk to black people that like Trump, look at when you talk to these people, the affirmative action thing, right? That's what we're talking about. What I didn't see what Rob Schneider said, and that might have been an interpretation that he said black people are lesser than. I don't know that. I can't imagine him saying that on stage. I can't imagine him saying something like, which I've heard a million times, affirmative action allows people who aren't as qualified to get jobs over people that aren't qualified. If your house is on fire, do you want a black guy who got the job just because he's black, or do you want a white guy who really knows how to put out a fire? That's what they say, because they have this bullshit story that affirmative action is going, oh, you're a black guy who's blind, who has an IQ of 30. Well, you get to be president because of affirmative action. That's not how it works, but that's what they think. So what I'm saying is that if you ask them, they will go, you're the racist one. You're telling black people that they should get jobs that they're not qualified for. And I'm over here going, no, why are we diminishing black people? Like, they literally think, Ty, that you're the racist and that I'm the racist because affirmative action is telling black people that they're not worthy.
But now see now when and again, totally understand those ideologies, you guys. I get it. My thing is, I come back to the same, like, I'm 51. So I've been on this earth for a long time, and I studied history. So I see a lot of stuff of what my ancestors went through. I've seen a lot of this stuff before. And
whose history?
Exactly, right? I know, right? And most of it was done by white people. Most of it. Most of the atrocities were done by white people. All of the race massacres, white people. Segregation, white people. Subjugation, white people. Rapes, white people. Lynching, white people. Taking shit from black people that harder, raping, lynching, white people. All of that. Seen it through history. I still see glimpses of it today. The thing that it doesn't make me do, no matter how much I see it, is hate all white people. Ian is one of my best friends. He's been one of my best friends for a long time. There is no amount of shit that can happen with white people to black people that will make me look at Ian any different, because I love my friend. So I love my friends that even if they look different than me. So there's no amount of propaganda that can be put in my face that will say all of, I literally had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday where I said, I don't speak in absolutes. I never say all of one person does anything. All of one culture does this, because that's not true. I know there are black people that are evil just like there are white people that are evil. And if somebody can be easily swayed and say, well, because this thing says this, you should be hating all it. No, that means there was a small part of you that was easily manipulated, malleable anyway. And that doesn't mean that you went out of your way to put on a hood or go burn a cross. It just means that you don't have the thought process to say, well, wait a minute, hold on, bro. I get it. You don't like masks. Totally understand that. You don't like vaccines. I get it. But that has nothing to do with Black doctors being qualified, or Black astronauts being qualified, or Black scientists, or treating anybody less than because of what they look like. I understand what you're saying, bro. I understand what both of y'all are saying. I'm just saying at some point we have to understand that human beings are responsible for the decisions they make and the critical thinking that they have, period. I see it all the time. I see it all the fucking time. I watch history shows all the time, and I never walk away from it thinking all of these people are horrible, because that's not true.
I agree. My point is, Ty, I don't think they think that. And I think that, I mean, it's if you have somebody with, let's just say, a mentally challenged person, somebody with Down syndrome or something, to expect them to have the same processing skills as we do.
Well, see, that's fair. If they're stupid, I'm sorry, not stupid, Down syndrome. Sorry, that's fair. If they have a learning disability.
But my point is that a lot of these people don't have education, which isn't necessarily their fault. That might be where they grew up, how they're whatever. They don't have a brain capacity, and their brain is wired to respond a certain way that is beyond their control. And I'm not giving an excuse for them. I'm not saying, but on some level it's beyond their control. If they're morons who respond to fear, now look, they can work on that. But they have to be smart enough to know that they have to work on it. And the fact is, because of things like Dunning-Kruger and the other things, they think they are smart. So it's very difficult to get out of it. And again, these people don't think, see, I think Black people aren't worthy to be doctors. What they're saying is, I don't want some affirmative action doctor who got his license from a Cracker Jack box just because of his Black skin. That's what I heard on Newsmax is happening. And to be honest, look, I don't care if you're Black, white, or if you got your job because of some sort of weird program where they're like, hey guys, the first 10 people who order a snow cone get to operate. I wouldn't want that person operating on me either. That's a valid concern. The thing is that the problem is not that. The problem isn't that, oh man, I don't want this person who's not qualified operating on me. It's that, how did they get to this place where they believe that fucking story? And the fact is that it's so many factors that get them to believe that they think, oh my God, they're just letting anybody be a doctor. They truly believe that. It's not that they're like, oh, Black people are inferior. They're like, I don't want.
Well, that's because that's because the people who push the anti-affirmative action narratives are people who are telling these, because they're going into aggrieved white trailer park communities and saying the reason that you're living in a trailer is because of affirmative action, and if it wasn't for that, you'd have a good job and the factory wouldn't have shut down. And that's not true at all, because the factory shut down because all the jobs got outsourced for cheaper labor. And by the same people, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by
those people are evil, Ty. Those are evil racist people who are manipulating dumb.
That's all I'm saying is that at that element is at play, is my point. Yes, there are people that are less educated. That's very true. There are people that don't have critical thinking skills. That's very true. But there's also an element to this is saying, well, wait a minute, man, you have to, at some point you have to step back and look and say, well, wait a minute, what's what and what actually makes sense? And you say, well, like to the prime example, if you go up to anybody, just to talk about that monster for like 2 seconds, if you went up to anybody and applied for a job, anybody, I don't care what it is, McDonald's, and they looked at your record and they saw you had 91 felony counts. They saw that you cheated at your last job. They saw that you refused to leave your last job. They saw that you sent people down there to fuck up the last restaurant that you were at. They saw that. They see all of this. They see the footage of you telling people to go there and fuck up the restaurant. They see all of this. They see that you did all this shit. McDonald's ain't hiring you. McDonald's ain't hiring you.
But the problem
when we look at a modern society where we got All this technology, dude. I'm telling you, I see people today that will sit there and tell me, "Nope, insurrection didn't happen. Didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. Only person that died that day was Ashley Babbitt, and she died because the cop killed her and he shouldn't have killed her." And I literally told a person this. I looked and I said, "These are the other people that died." I gave them the names of the people who died, and the dude said, no, that's not true." I'm like,
Right, that's what I'm
"Give me
saying.
the name of the
They don't
person."
think it's true, Ty, because they have their set of news, which tells them that any other news is fake and lying to them. Even you say, "Oh, they." How many people say, "Haven't you seen the videos? They're being led on a tour. No one's." And then you show them.
Yeah,
the other videos,
it goes way beyond critical thinking skills and becomes garbage in, garbage out at some point. Like if all you've got, you can make bad choices because you have bad information, even if you're,
right.
But
And the thing is that when the information tells you that any other when the foundation of their information is that not only is our information correct, but all the other information is purposely trying to deceive you, and it's fake.
well, then you're in a cult. Yeah.
And that's literally what it is.
That's all I'm saying. That's
Right.
all I'm saying is at some point it has to come back to it being, hey, you're the fucked up individual that chooses
sure.
this. Because again, if
But
you're
it's hard to get out of a cult, man.
it is. Maybe I just I don't. Maybe my brain doesn't work that way. My brain is just
it's frustrating.
They get too many social incentives for being a part of that little in group, right? Like and it's not even that they can't think, it's that they're not willing to, because it would put them in a position where then they'd have to.
So wait, I want to ask Jack a question, but then I want to spend the last 15 minutes of the show talking about what he has coming up in his project. So that's what we need. I want to focus on something good. So really quick, I'm gonna ask you this real quick, something you just said, Jack. When you say they get things out of it, now again, I understand the rich person. I understand the rich person getting something out of Trump. I understand that. I understand the grifters, like the My Pillow dudes. I get them. But the average Trump supporter who is spending money on Trump merch, the dude that literally had mortgaged his house and gave it to Trump for his defense, causing his wife to divorce him because they were now homeless. Those people, what do they get out of it? Because all they're doing is giving. They're not getting anything.
Well, I mean, you'd have to ask them, because to me it sounds nuts. But if I had to like wager a guess, I'd think that they genuinely believe that this is some sort of spiritual battle for America, and if they don't give everything to Trump because he's the new Messiah, then they're not going to get into heaven, and that scares the shit out of them.
Well, Trump, Ian has floated the theory that a lot of these people are just waiting for the rapture. So
a lot of them are, yeah.
But the thing, Ty, I mean, not to be too low hanging fruit here, but and this has been said a billion times, but when you can convince people of things like a talking snake, and people go, "Oh, no one really believes that." Yes, they do. An ark where they went and got penguins from Antarctica and got them on the boat in the Middle East, and a boat that could hold maybe 300 animals, that held all the world's species for a flood, and nobody else owned boats. I mean, that when they believe that shit, when they believe the dude was swallowed by a big fish and then regurgitated later, or whatever, when you can convince people that the world is 6,000 years old, or it's flat, or whatever, when you can convince millions, billions of people believe crazy religious stuff and kill for it and ostracize their family for it. And I mean, look at Scientology, like our buddy Travis, like his whole family, like ostracized him and his mom or whatever, because he doesn't believe in the alien on his back. I mean, when you think of that, like the crazy shit. Oh, a talking snake and an alien on your back and a flood and a guy in a boat with all the animals on it and all this fucking goofy shit. And billions of people believe that so much that they will hate their own relatives and their own kids and kill other people for it. Then you go, well, this guy just playing on their fucking on their white privilege and stuff that happens to them. Oh, your gas price was $4 a gallon. Oh, and those dumb fucking scared I mean, there's no way else I can say it. And I know people go, there's smart religious people out there. I challenge you on the fact that, I mean, and I'm not talking like a few people who believe some fuzzy stuff, but look, the super religious people, when people say, oh, there's smart ones out there, I don't buy it. If they were smart, they would. I get what you're saying. They might be educated. They might be smart in some other area. This dude, fucking, what's his name, is the brain surgeon, but they're not. By definition, you're not. They're just not thinkers, and they're easily duped because of the way their brain functions. So it's like, does it surprise me that these people now fall for Trump and this whatever? No, it doesn't surprise me at all. They believe in a fucking talking snake, man.
Well, and that's exactly how I feel about hate-filled people. Is that at some point it's just them. Okay, you guys, listen. I want to spend. Let's forget all that shit for now. Let's pretend the world makes sense. Let's. So, Jack, tell everybody what you have coming up. Tell everybody how to find you and what to check for, and what you're most excited. And if they had to check you out for the first time, the very first time, what is going to keep their attention and draw them in? What would that be?
Yeah, well, easiest thing to do is patreon.com/Jack Maturko, where you can find kind of everything in one nice condensed place. But over on the YouTube, I just finished. I try to do. I think of my show in like 13 episode seasons, so I kind of just finished season 3, and I've got some goodies up there. I just had an interview with Reggie Watts. I talked to Hemant Mehta from Friendly Atheist. That one with the rabbi Adam Bellows. That's a really good one. And I do half-hour interviews. They're digestible. You can put it on in the background while you're having a sandwich or whatever. So definitely go check those out. What I'm doing for the patrons on Patreon is I've got a huge back catalog of podcasts. That aren't on art, because you stop doing the show, you stop paying the RSS. They're just not around on the internet anymore. So I'm throwing those up for anybody who gives me anything as I can. So a bunch of interviews with a bunch of comedians I've had on. I've had Ian on, Trey Crowder, Katie Goodman, W. Kamau Bell, a bunch of those. So those are all fun little extras for anybody who throws me a buck.
So let me ask you really quick. What interview was your favorite, and why was it your favorite? And did you take something away from it that you're like, okay,
like this season or like all time?
This season.
This season, I think my Hemant Mehta one is probably the one that I thought was the best, because me and Hemant have both been doing this atheist blogger stuff for long enough that we could just sit down and say, all right, let's talk about what's happened in the last decade and figure out where things went wrong. And so it was a really good, like, we both knew where we were coming from, and we're able to go back and forth really well. And then, if you want to hear us talk some shit about Richard Dawkins, we do that too. So
and Sam says you should check out one of the episodes with Sam Slade on it.
Oh yeah, Sam did one with me too. Yeah, Sam's been on all my shows at some point or another. He's a good guy.
He was on our show last week.
Was he? Yeah. The one with him is good. I do like talking politics with Sam. It's lots of fun.
I'm telling you, Sam is very, very quick-witted, and I always say with Sam, it's nice because he can kind of float in between talking politics and talking random stuff. He's he's
especially
more
wrestling.
Yes. He's more baseball than basketball, but that's okay. I won't hold that against him.
80s movies and stuff. If it's me and Sam, we're talking about like 80s TV shows and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I can do it all day. We actually tried to do that on our show. Remember, we did that a while back in where we were like, you know what? Let's just do something fun.
We did the one of where everyone started talking about the hottest older female celebrities.
Yeah, it was that. Remember, it was like dead or alive? Who would it be?
By the way, Curtis, people have been posting. They got your Patreon, a few other links up in the comments here. So if you guys go to facebook.com/critical and thinking, and today's video, which is, if you're listening to this on podcast version. It's Critical and Thinking, Facebook.com/Critical and Thinking, and it is January 25th, and you can get the links in our chat there. And yeah, so that's that. JE says peace and empathy as always.
Yes.
As always, peace and empathy. We
I
are winding this down, but I think it was good. We've got it. Let's, as always, Ty, we're going to stay on it. And look, Ty, yes, as much as there's nothing you can have my vow. Well, you already know this, but there's no amount of propaganda that's going to make me turn that way either. So we're in the same boat.
I would hope so.
I ain't never going to be like, man, I didn't want to tell nobody this, but originally this show was called Critical and Thinking with Ian Harris and Sam Slade. And then the government called me and they're like, well, you need to put on the black feller. So I had to bring in Ty, even though he's not as qualified.
Hilarious. Well, listen, you guys, I will do this because JE just said it. So listen, you guys, and you guys have been watching the show for a while, you know why I come from where I come from. It's because I give a fuck. There's a portion of me that really wishes that I didn't. Yeah, I would have less gray hair. I told you this before. My mom has less gray hair than me. That's just a fact. My mom has less gray hair than me. And she said because she thinks about less than I do. And there's a part of me that's jealous of that. I really am. I'm like, wow, I wish that all I focused on was just fun stuff.
Ignorance is bliss. That's what they say.
It is. And remember, we actually said this when we started the show.
I think stupidity is happiness. I think
it has to be. It has to be.
Stupid people are very happy.
They smile the most. And so I will say this, like we said before, and we say every week, we're gonna keep going hard until November. We'll see how things shake out. But at the core of all of this, you guys, is human beings. Now, and I'm talking about the 97% of us, the ones that don't live in gated communities, the ones that ain't rich, the ones that don't have a trust fund waiting for them, the ones that don't have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy. I'm talking about the rest of us that have to actually live and pay bills and take care of our families, take care of our loved ones, all of that. We have to get back to this thing of common sense being common sense. We have to get back to this thing of being able to navigate through the bullshit and calling out the bullshit. No longer will I sit here and pretend that these people aren't driving us off of a cliff. I won't do that anymore. I'm going to call these people out, whether it be on this show every Thursday at 12 noon Pacific time, or whether it be on my other platforms. You have to do the same thing, you guys. I literally had a conversation with someone who said he was an independent. We had a really good conversation. We talked for about an hour. And what I loved about that conversation is the stuff that he did not know, he acknowledged that he didn't know it. And we had a conversation about the stuff he didn't know. And now he's informed. Now, whatever decision he makes from here is a whole nother thing. But this
isn't our other friend, is it?
No. This is a different guy. But
by the way, we need to have our buddy, we have to also have our good friend Adam Hunter on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll see if we can get him on next week. I'll ask next week. I was going to ask this week, but we had Jack on, so I'll ask next week.
He just did a show, and he had to shake hands with Vivek Ramaswamy.
Come on, man.
He might be laid up with some sort of disease because I don't know if he was vaccinated for that kind of shit.
But you see what I mean? That's a prime example of what I mean, by the way, of acting like that's not a thing. You don't go hang out with somebody that's fucking schmarmy and be like, oh, it's just business. Okay, I'm back to empathy. Anyway,
Vivek Ramaswamy is like every 80s movie's nouveau riche villain.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it's so obvious. It's bananas. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it over to Ian.
Go ahead.
I want to thank Jack for being on the show. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. As usual, you already know who you are. You know why we rock with you, and you know we appreciate you rocking with us. Tammy, Jen, JE as usual, Sam, Edmund, Corey. We had so many people here. Oh my God. Damn, we had a nice little turnout today. Thank you to everybody that turned in to tune in. Dylan, what's up, bro? How you doing? Thank you to everybody. I'm gonna turn it over to my friend Ian. Take us out.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Jack, thanks for coming on. We will let's do it again. And everybody go to Jack's post it on my page today too, and I will your YouTube.
Yeah, I
page.
got a whole slew of links. So
Right, yeah. So post that they're in the comments. Go to his Patreon. You'll find everything there. And great stuff. He's got a lot of great stuff. And been around doing this stuff for a long time. And like I said, as soon as we started talking, people recognize who you were. So that tells you that go. And the Hemet Menta one, I just watched that. You sent that one to me. It's great. So guys, go. And also you sent the Reggie Watts
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, so go check out Jack's stuff, like, subscribe, do all of that. And yeah, and we will be here as always.
oh, you cut out at the last sec there, man. Oh, and he's gone.
Oh shit, I don't know what happened. Okay. So I guess I will close this out really quick. Again, thank you, Jack, for coming on. I don't think Ian.
Yeah, anytime. I do my shows on Thursdays too, so you know I'm usually at the computer. So if you need somebody to fill in, just hit me up.
Oh man, thank you so much. You know, we'll take you up on it, bro. Thank you again, and much luck to everything you're doing. Go check him out, you guys. When he moves everything over to YouTube. Thank you again so much, bro. And again, to everybody out there, as I said before, the only way we fix these problems is talking to the people and actually understanding what the issue is. So let's do that. Let's move forward. Critical Thinking Podcast. Ty Barnett.
Ian Harris. See you, Jack.
Peace.